We got some little extractors over here.
Alright, we can go rogue. It's all good.
2 Heartbreaker builds and a skill build. He's using that bleed hive, melting my ass.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, this thing or hive. Alright.
Let it work right there.
Like, can you pulse?
Hold it. No, buddy. Not gonna happen. Don't worry.
Contaminated gear detected.
See what you got, buddy.
I'll go ahead and put his exotic on this rope here.
Engaged.
Oh, he about to. Good job.
He's down.
Now
Yeah,
detecting
he's down.
contaminated gear.
Here, I'm on.
Helo is headed back.
Ooh, named item, eh? Hey, we got him. Hey,
Behind us? Yeah.
Behind us.
Now detecting contaminated
Builds
gear.
stacks.
Coming up. Come on, man.
Down.
He's got the bleed.
Alright.
I'll shoot it.
Alright, I got him.
It's down.
Dark zone drop.
He's trying to build his stacks on that ad.
I see him. He's right there.
I'm lucky there's another one behind us. To the right.
Helo almost in
Demon.
extraction zone.
Right here.
Gotcha. I'm coming to you.
Yeah, me too.
Got him.
Come on,
Yeah.
son. Come on, son. Flat light don't even work, and oh my goodness, this junk is so strong. Just imagine when it gets fixed. Don't even work in PvP, dog, and I'm bodying cats.
The votes are in, and it was pretty clear what people wanted to see. In the video I made recently about finding the dream drop Carbine 7, I asked all of you to vote on which build I should drop, and the overwhelming majority wanted this one, an entire new beast of a build. But I even did you one better by also adding to this build the updated Heartbreaker counter. So ladies and gentlemen, you're in for a treat with this one. This build reminds me something like a perfect dark style build for a few reasons. For one, the Carbine 7 is all black and looks sick. My gear is black, and as a matter of fact, black is my favorite color. The purpose of this build is to enter a new era of playstyle, one that will completely eclipse most of what comes your way with insane DPS and survivability. Also, having the ability to farm the best gear with very low risk. You can use this build in all forms of content, but I say it shines best in the dark zone and conflict, so I don't want to waste much more of your time talking about it. But you already know what I'm about to ask you, right? Well, if you're interested in builds from DPS all the way to skill, then please drop a like and don't hesitate to subscribe to my channel for dedicated Division 2 content. Now here's the build. There's a lot of buzz surrounding Heartbreaker, and so many of you think it's meta. It's a great and very powerful gear set, don't get me wrong, but things change when new updates release, and not only is the new stuff strong, but existing gear can become way more viable than ever before. 𝐤𝐤𝐬, in my opinion, is now one of the best brand sets to seek out, and I just want to say something about this. I've made tons of builds with 𝐤𝐤𝐬, and every time there are people saying in the comments how much they don't like being in a DZ, how they're always getting jumped and that they won't be able to make this build because of it. I gotta tell you that the DZ is not that bad. Sometimes I go in there and have nice and easy farming runs with many successful extractions. I know it doesn't feel great getting jumped, but here's a tip. Try going in there with a group. The matchmaking is very easy because most people won't attack you if you do. All I'm saying is that with how relevant 𝐤𝐤𝐬 has become, it's almost a necessity to have. Just think of it this way. If you get what you need for this build, you will never have to worry about rogue agents the same way again because they won't see you. So it's worth a shot. If not for the brand set, then at least for the Hollow Man mask, one that is actually more effective in PvE than it is PvP. This is the mask I'm using, and it exclusively drops in the dark zone. You could get it sometimes from caches if you're lucky, but the DZ is where it drops. So you gotta take the risk. It deals 10% damage to health, such a strong attribute. It's amplified damage, and what's also great about it is how it stacks with assault rifles attributes, which is also health damage. And the AR I'm using is actually what inspired this build, the Dream Drop Carbine 7 that dropped with damage to targets out of cover already on it. I can't say enough about this weapon and how good it is. Just look at the response of the views that I got in this video that I uploaded only yesterday. So people love this weapon and they know what I'm talking about. They know it's a beast. And when I max out the health damage, it'll be 31% total. You saw how fast I was melting those chungas, dogs, and enemy skills, right? Well, that's primarily because of this, the health damage. The talent I rolled is Flatline, of course. And at the moment, the regular version of Flatline isn't working as intended in PvP. I mean, it's not even doing anything actually. But it still melts players like butter. Just imagine how it'll be when it's fixed. It does work in PvE, and don't worry, the KINGBREAKER with perfect flatline, unlike the normal version, is working as intended. For the attachment, this is important. Make sure you have Technician Specialization because it's the only one with the Technician laser link that allows you to pulse enemies by simply aiming at them. The talent combination you need is a new name chest piece called Closer with Perfect Spotter. Now here's something you need to understand, so listen up. Perfect Flatline that offers 5% more amplified weapon damage than the normal Flatline, which I'm using with the Carbine 7. So I figure with me using the Closer with Perfect Spotter, which grants 5% more damage than the normal spotter, it'll be as if I'm using Perfect Flatline with that 20% amplified damage. I hope I didn't lose you there. Sorry to interrupt, but I gotta share this with you. Don't worry, I'll be quick. Did you know that I'm a game developer? Yes, sir. And this is a project I'm currently working on, an open world RPG looter shooter called Identity Rebels, with a captivating story followed by an engaging endgame. I'm doing this 100% solo, so your support to help me grow over there would be greatly appreciated. Game dev is my passion, and I'd love to take that journey with you. Here's the link to the Identity Games channel. Head over there to subscribe, like, and comment. Also, check out everything else going on over there, from devlogs to discussions. Now let's get back to business. The secondary may be even more deadly with the Scorpio exotic shotgun. If you didn't know, the poison from its talent called Septic Shock directly damages your health. Come on, man, this is exactly what we're talking about here. I mean, there's no better weapon to use with this. Just look at how it melts. Now, after I found out about the pulse resistance mods, I immediately thought of the idea for this build. And with yaw gear plus the 50% pulse resistance from every specialization, all you need is one 10% pulse resistance mod, and then you're immune. I feel like this is one of the most complete builds I've ever made. Yaw gear 3-piece has the total package for all forms of content, and especially in this patch. If you want to go into conflict or dark zone, you won't be seen by everyone and their mother using pulse. The 5% weapon damage is always a bonus, and if you like Hasbro builds, then this is also a great place to start. With just one piece of yaw, you can get 30% hazard protection. That's insane. The 3 pieces I'm using are first, Hollow Man of course, the holster, and backpack with vigilance. This is direct, raw damage that doesn't need to stack or anything. And once you have the 3 pieces, it provides a segue to an entire possibility of playstyles in the realm of yaw builds. Because this one is DPS primarily, with the gloves being Group O for crit damage and 𝐤𝐸 knee pads for crit chance. But if you want to make a skill version of this, then you can by just swapping out the chest piece, gloves, and knee pads for 𝐻𝐸 and Wyvern. Switch the backpack talent from vigilance to combined arms or something else you like in the skills category. This way you have all the same benefits of yaw with whatever playstyle you enjoy, skill, DPS, or hybrid. But with this setup, I have a whopping 1.5 million armor, because the one piece of 𝐦𝐨𝐬 gives me 5% total armor, which I love for one piece. It's just like the healer guard. For the skills, what works for me are the EMP sticky bomb, and when I'm in the DZ, pulse is the best skill for situational awareness, mainly because you don't want to get ambushed, and you'll always be able to see who's around you, who's coming to you, who's trying to flank you, whatever. But for PvE and stuff, the decoy is good to use. I also use the decoy in conflict. At the end of the day, you can use something else besides yaw. You don't need 100% pulse resistance, but then it'll be just another build with no other advantages to go with it, just DPS. If you put this build together the same way I have here, you will not be disappointed. I said that I would make a new beast of a build, and I believe that's what I've done. If you want to go farm the DZ, you can do that with little to no threat from rogues. In conflict, you're like an assassin who can flank the enemy at will without them ever seeing you. In PvE, killing NPCs, especially those with health mainly, like Chunga's, has never felt more satisfying and powerful. I'll be using this build for a long time. It'll be my go-to for so much going forward. Let me know what you think of it down below. Like the video and subscribe to my channel for builds from DPS all the way to skill. I'll see you in the next one. Be right out.